Hey everyone, Anthony here from the Chi Life Academy, a healer in every household. I've been asked to delve into my journey, give some ideas of how this teaching and this training arose. And it goes back a long, long way. I was born in South Africa. I lived there for a very short period, but I became very close and very at one with nature. I had a strong connection to the land, to the feeling and awareness of energy around me. And obviously at a young age, like 2, 3, 4, 5 years of age, I didn't really purely understand what it was that I was sensing, but I had a knowing. Fast forward to 10 years later, when I was 14, 15, I started to have a greater sense of other people's energy, how people would come into a room or how people would interact with other persons, and there would be a sense of a physical emotion, a sense of an energetic shift or change in the atmosphere of a particular venue, space, or arena in which I was speaking or interacting, or even just observing other persons. I spent a large part of my youth training in the martial arts, and this helped me channel and focus a lot of my then frustration and anger at the world. Really, I started to awaken to the sense of energy in my mid-20s, but I always, from a very young age, from a teenage years, had an interest in the Orient, in martial arts, martial figures, the culture of Asia, both Korea, Japan, China, Malaysia, Thailand, places like this. And what I noticed was, with all the heavy, external, powerful training that I've been doing, some of the hardest training and the most challenging was some of the simple stretching and breath work and stationary meditation. And I often found that sitting in stillness and in quietness was physically, mentally, and emotionally more challenging than doing punching and kicking and vigorous push-ups and sit-ups and all those sorts of things that we did in the 1980s training. So that led me to question why that was. Why was it for me a challenge? And for others. The beginning of my career in Chinese medicine, I realized immediately the need for self-nourishment. And that led me back to this idea of being still, through meditational practices, through breath work, through learning to consolidate my energy, become more internal, become still, become more quiet. And it was at that time I knew, at the age of 25, it was time to spend as much as I could in a consistent way working to nourish this energy. And in the beginning, a lot of it was experimentation, so trying a certain idea or concept or approach or path or lineage, and then literally experimenting and feeling the effects, sensing the effects, and keeping a diary of the changes that occurred. It was only when I got into my 30s I had more formal training with more structure, with more knowledge-based training. Then I began to formulate my own ideas around the internal arts. Now, at the age of 50, I'm looking to, after many years of working with structured situations and then expanding to create my own system, I then have gone back to exploring deeper structures internally within the body, and then working with those concepts and those ideas myself to build up an even larger framework of understanding. As a teacher once said to me, you can have the greatest talent. You can be the most talented student with huge volumes of skill and ability. But you can't fly on talent alone. So in terms of becoming a greater human being with more exceptional skills and talents that you have already, it's always a good idea to consistently work on yourself at some internal level. So in part 2, I'll explore my first encounters with Qigong, how it came about, what I experienced, what I felt, what happened to me. Thank you for listening. I'm Anthony Monteith, Chi Life Academy, a healer in every household. Thank you.